Hey guys, welcome to another 1v1 Ranked cast. As some of you may have noticed or seen on his own stream and YouTube channel, Retals has been playing Ranked 1v1. He's been on the grind and he's been putting in some impressive numbers in the ranked leaderboard, really getting up towards the top end. And I believe right now he sits in the top 5 in North America. Yeah, only behind the likes of First Killer, Lionblaze, AJ, and Daniel. So yeah, really impressive to see Retals so high rated in ones these days, after only recently coming back to it, if I'm not mistaken. But he does have a strong history of 1v1 in North American tournaments and even show matches. He has a lot of experience. This isn't too crazy to see at all. But yeah, I wanted to cast some of his replays and I couldn't find any that are really recent that look too interesting, but I did find a couple of him playing against Ashllxyy one night when Ashllxyy was queuing up in the USC servers. So a little bit of EU versus NA action here. Ashllxyy, of course, one of the best in Europe at the moment, and definitely a beast in show matches and tournaments as well. So let's see how they get on with Retals in the home server against one of the best at the moment. So here we go, game one. Ashllxyy on a pretty decent server. I'm not sure what the absolute best connection he can get to US East is, but 120 is quite familiar, quite common for a lot of European players. Definitely going to be a struggle against a quick player like Retals, and already Retals with a chance there. He's missed an open net, but still an easy conversion after the demo, chasing Ashllxyy down the line and converting in the opening that was presented to him. So Retals in 1v1. Back in the day when I was first casting this guy, actually the first time I casted him play was in the final of the North American qualifier for 12 Titans 2, where Retals lost in spectacular fashion against Sharif, and that was, no fault of Retals. Sharif just put in one of the most insane one-game comebacks that we've ever seen. But since then, he's really grown as a player. He's had more success in 1v1, and then, of course, become one of the best 3v3 players in North America. And his team, Space Station Gaming, finishing second in RLCS Season X behind NRG. This is a comeback to something that he used to be a main in, as far as I'm aware. Retals, I think he started off as a 1v1 main, and he's told me, I believe, on one occasion that he had to change his name because he had just earned such a reputation as being a 1v1 ranked warrior that he wanted to kind of distance himself from that. Yeah, but everybody respects him now. He's a really great content creator and a really great ambassador for the scene. Always wearing his heart on his sleeve and calling everybody out whenever he can. And you need people like that in the competitive scene, or it'll become extremely boring. Oh, a nice little mind game there by Ashllxyy. Retals expected the rebound, but that was off a open net miss from Ashllxyy. Obviously he wanted to go for the bottom corner placement, knowing that Retals respawning would have had the majority of the goal covered. Another just quick attack from Retals. He's not wasting any time trying to transition. Not sure at this point how much Retals knew about Ashllxyy, because Ashllxyy's still relatively new to the scene, although you guys who've been watching his come up in ones will know that he is the real deal. This might be a bit of a new kind of style for Retals to go up against. Oh my goodness, Ashllxyy, he must have had a controller DC here or something, because that made absolutely no sense. This wasn't a fake kickoff at all. He just drove off to the corner, or drove off to the side of the pitch, I should say. But he's starting to work his way into the game here. The majority of the midfield plays are resulting in chances for him, and as we know, when Ashllxyy gets chances to score, he often scores. And there's another one within one. Retals trying to, I think, use this home server advantage as best as he can, and that's by just playing as quickly as possible, giving Ashllxyy very little time to react whenever there's a play on the ball. And again, Retals trying to beat him to the punch there. Ashllxyy's a very quick player though, so it's going to be tough even with the home server to regularly beat him to it. But that's what Retals is going for. He's not got a lot of boosts here, but with a couple of wave dashes, he was able to work himself into a scoring position. Ashllxyy had enough boost to have the covering of the near post though. Now Retals in a lot of trouble. Still no boost. He hasn't had boost ever since he was in Ashllxyy's half. That's a nice little bump there by Ashllxyy to create some distance, but he drops the ball, and that means no flicks available. Just settles for the 50-50, and You know, you've got to be able to bail on plays like this. This is smart for Ashllxyy to just leave that play. Oh my goodness, he's missed another open net. Retals just gave it to him. Ashllxyy's missed that one by a mile. That's very strange to see. And now Retals with the air dribble. Well played. Getting an extra touch to put it over Ashllxyy. And the key about that air dribble is he didn't just lift the ball, he also put it behind Ashllxyy. So there was really no way for a save to come through. Ashllxyy composed and calm as he dribbles around Retals after winning a kickoff. All the kickoffs standard so far, apart from the one that Ashllxyy disconnected on. Retals could use a switch up here though, because he's lost a couple in a row on the same side of the ball. Very nice save. No panic, knew that the ball was not going to cross the line before he got to it. But once again, Ashllxyy is well aware of Retals' boost situation. Thinking about a reverse dribble, but again settling for that 50-50, and this is something Ashllxyy's done quite well in this game. Realizing when there isn't really an option to continue a play, just goes for the 50-50 instead. Good read there on what Retals is trying to do. Bit of an early reveal on the mind game from Retals, but look how all in Ashllxyy is. I think Retals might be able to slot this, and he will. 2-goal advantage. Just sneaking it in at the near post there. And it's not been the cleanest game. I've seen better from both of these guys, but they're both making it quite awkward for each other. I think Retals has been just stuck in uncomfortable positions with no time to grab boost because he knows that Ashllxyy's just going to run the ball past him if he does. And for Ashllxyy, the ball pressure of Retals has caused issues, but not this time. Still keeping it close and chipping away at Retals' goal leads whenever they start to grow again. And he's won another kickoff on the same side. This is a weakness of Retals from the center circle. And you know, when this is happening, you expect these days to see players going for something a bit different, maybe a wave dash kickoff. He's lost it again to this side. I mean, he's just really very far on the outside edge of the ball, giving Ashllxyy big winning opportunities. Definitely a change up needed, but oh my, what has happened here? Ashllxyy accidentally spinning around. Can Retals get the punish? Oh, not quite. It's off the bar and out. Still a great position for Retals though, and again he's hit the bar, but still a great position. If he could just take his time here. Ashllxyy's boost is dwindling, and Ashllxyy calls his bluff on that shot, and he gets a 50-50 and a big win on the mid-boost race. This is huge, and he's able to turn successfully as well. Retals has been outplayed in this transition. Just doesn't have enough boost to generate counterattacks in a lot of these challenges. It might be Ashllxyy with the last chance of the game. Let's see if he can make it happen. Retals with an unconvincing fake challenge. Air dribble from Ashllxyy. Retals gets in the way of it. And he's got his back corner boost under control as well. Wants to get one last chance on 0 seconds. Drops it, and that will be overtime in the first game for today's video. Again, Retals losing the kickoff on that side by a huge bump. Will get him back in control of the ball. And he's got space to turn here. Ashllxyy trying to pressure him. Has he gone too far though? Oh, he's just able to get back. I think that was an opening for Retals. The shot was lacking power. A nice little turn from Retals in the midfield. Again, lacking power on the shot though, so 2 chances squandered. But Ashllxyy's boost management looking pretty good. Oh my goodness, what a save for Retals. Had another opening there, but Ashllxyy managed to sneak it off his own post and somehow to safety. He's still worried about incoming shots. Didn't want to run away to the corner boost and let Retals have another one. That concedes possession again. Can Retals make it happen? All the chances in overtime falling to him. Again, Ashllxyy's got a save. No, I think he hasn't won the back corner boost, but he's at least shrugged Retals off the ball briefly. Now goes back for the boost. Retals taking his time. And going straight for Ashllxyy again. Drops the ball. I don't think that was intentional by the looks of things. I think Retals is trying to accelerate into a big flick there. He's got to be careful. Almost demoed, but aware of where Ashllxyy was coming from. Long overtime for a 1v1. Ashllxyy forced to make yet another save. So much defense against a fast-paced attack. Ridiculous pressure being exerted by Retals. Can he slot the open net? Not quite. I think he might have had a shot if it was perfectly placed. And now here comes Ashllxyy. Retals nowhere to be seen. And Retals is now absolutely nowhere to be seen as he leaves the lobby. Ashllxyy takes it. Wow. it was the boost management at the end of the day that let Retals down. Just using every ounce that he had. I mean, he had 100 to 0 in this position here, or 100 to 50, I should say. Gets a very nice challenge, and look how much boost Retals is using. He's completely just trusting himself to slot that shot in the bottom corner, and there's no question that if that shot goes towards the bottom right corner, Ashllxyy won't get there. I mean, we'll see a lot more clearly from an overhead view. Yeah, there's just no way. The ball would be out of Ashllxyy's reach and in the bottom corner. Retals trusting his accuracy, and his accuracy let him down. But the main issues for Retals in this game were, number one, the kickoffs. He just didn't change it up enough, and he was definitely weak to his left-hand side. He kept on losing kickoffs to this one side, so needing either to dodge in a different direction, change his approach slightly, or just change the strategy completely, whether it's fake kickoff, delayed kickoff, wave dash kickoff. There's a plethora of options these days, and he just didn't have any of them available to him, it would seem. But yeah, several times Retals just letting his boost go a little bit too low compared to Ashllxyy, who was hanging on in defense with low boost many times in this series. So well played to him, or this game I should say. But we will have one more game to watch between these two, and it happened immediately after this one. Let's get into it and see if Retals can fare any better. Alright, game number 2, the last that these two have played, and the more recent of the two. The Retals getting right back into the action after, I'll say throwing the previous game, because the accuracy with that shot should have been better, of course. Retals trusted himself to have better accuracy. Speaking of, he's missed another one. These two have been trading open net misses in these games. As you can see, he went immediately out of the game so he could get straight into the next one, so definitely no fear of queuing up again. And look at the physicality of Retals. Wow, he's going to get a goal from this. Taking out his frustration in the right way. A couple of huge bumps already in this game. Ashllxyy won't want to be on the back foot as much as he was in the last game. I think we've seen recently that he's quite happy defending versus the top EU guys, but you know, when you're on the away server, this is a much better one actually for Ashllxyy, in the green at least, so looks like the previous one wasn't in fact the best that he could have had. But yeah, you really don't want to be on the back foot when you're playing cross server. You want to be the attacking player, because when you're the one attacking, when you're the one making plays in the ball, it is absolutely not really any different to playing on the home server. But when you're having to react to moves, especially the kind of moves that Retals is making, very aggressive play off the ball, difficult to avoid this, and also very fast play, so not a lot of time to read between touches and wait and see what's actually happening. No, Ashllxyy would far rather just be the one who's constantly attacking, and he can't do that. He can do that. It's the playstyle we've seen from him, where he just keeps on attacking, keeps on stealing boost. But Retals, so quick to spot openings and then capitalize on them whenever he sees that. I mean, this is just a perfect example of it. Whenever he sees a chance to make a play on the ball, he really doesn't waste any time. He's attacking with supersonic and putting in touches that are disrupting Ashllxyy's flow. Ashllxyy trying to find some space to work with here, but it's so difficult to do, and the landing there, just a testament to Retals' pressure at the moment. Again, Retals right back into the play. Huge demo again. And he'll slot this, no problem. 2-0. Just absolutely relentless pressure off the ball from Retals. And you can see that he's, you know, really just taken what I think we see a lot from the North American Ones players, and shown that he can absolutely do it at the highest level. And that is just play supersonic all the time. And you watch guys in the past like Farskiller, currently Daniel, AJ, and Lion Blaze. I mean, these are all players who don't slow down. They just play such a fast game, and Retals is able to do that. Very impressive again at the near post, this time working through Ashllxyy's defense, and he's up by 3. Now, in the last game, Ashllxyy kept on fighting back, kept on putting the pressure on Retals every time a goal was scored. Low ceiling shot blocked by Retals. He had great goal coverage here. He's keeping Ashllxyy honest with these long shots as well. Ashllxyy won't be able to increase his midfield presence all that much, because he knows that Retals might just send a long shot on target. Very nice boost steal by Ashllxyy, but Retals is still threatening touches. And he's managed his boost extremely well here. I wasn't sure whether to expect him to be low or mid kind of boost in that position, because he uses so much boost to accelerate into plays as quickly as possible. Another good save from Retals here. You're already seeing that the two weaknesses that we pointed out in the first game haven't been a problem here. He's not been crushed on kickoffs, and he's not been boost starved. So he's keeping us, he's able to play with just as much momentum and just as much aggression as he did in the last game, while not going completely all in to do it. Really finding a good balance here. As for Ashllxyy, it's just so difficult to establish his offense against this style that Retals is going for. In fact, that might just be game over. Ashllxyy is going to forfeit, and I think that's a pretty fair forfeit because he had nothing going in this game. He tried the ceiling shot, tried the flip reset. Retals had them both covered, and you know, Retals has definitely got a lot of experience having to defend against shots like this, being a threes player these days, and just really dominated here. I wanted this very quickly though, before we exit out of this video, just look at the kickoffs in this game. So I think this is very interesting to see what Retals did differently compared to the last one. You remember in the last game he lost so many kickoffs to his left hand side, and it actually does start off the game losing one to that same left hand side, but follows up with a very nice bump. So great recovery, but that, you know, already looked pretty bad for me, because I was thinking, well, he hasn't fixed any of the issues that he had in the last game, because he's still he's too far on the right hand side of the ball. And this time, again, we're gonna just pause this one and see where he is. So you're seeing your Retals, he's trying to hit the ball to Ashllxyy's right on this kickoff. And why isn't it working? Well, the reason is because when players like this will dodge in opposite directions, I mean, Ashllxyy's inside the ball here, but it's not actually inside the ball, this is just a replay bug. They've both got a very solid contact in terms of how high they hit the ball. So the only difference is their angle of approach, and Ashllxyy's got more of an angle. Now when you come in with more of an angle like this and both players are dodging in opposite directions, the ball will usually go to the side of the player, well, it will usually follow the player who went in with more of an angle. So if Retals wanted to win here, he would have had to dodge the other way. If he had dodged to his left here, most likely he'd win that kickoff, because you can see that the ball, if both players dodge in the same direction, Retals left, Ashllxyy right, then it will probably squeeze out into Ashllxyy's half, come back into the middle around about the center circle, the edge of the center circle. So it's all about the direction that players are dodging into the ball with. Whereas if you see the first kickoff that we witnessed in this game, I think Retals did try, and I think he tried to go left on it. But yeah, so here we have a perfect example of what I'm saying. Both players are now dodging the same direction. But remember what I said, if players are coming in and they dodge in opposite directions, it's usually the player who is more side on, which in this case is Retals. Retals is a little bit more of an angle to the ball. Look at the big angle he's hitting this ball at compared to Ashllxyy, who's more center. When players dodge opposite directions, then usually the player with more of an angle will win. But these guys are dodging the same direction, so the guy with less of an angle usually has the advantage, and that's why Ashllxyy's able to win this one. So Ashllxyy just predicting correctly which way to go on this one. I'm not sure if watching his perspective will tell us why he decided to go this way. Now, you couldn't really see, as far as I'm aware, where Retals was coming from. But sometimes you can. Sometimes you notice your opponent. You won't in this occasion, because Retals is completely eclipsed by the ball. But sometimes you see your opponent way off on one side of the ball and you know where they're going to be. But that's why Ashllxyy's won both of these first two kickoffs. Retals just going the wrong way, and you know, he's completely committed for a kickoff win there, essentially, with both players going for a very standard approach, and it just doesn't work out. So usually any kickoff losses are exaggerated in the diagonal spawn, but now here we have Retals extremely side onto the ball, so he's absolutely going for this big win on the outside. Ashllxyy with a slower approach actually gets a big miss hit on the ball, actually ramping into this instead of dodging, so it's just gone over the top of him. So that's a mechanical misplay from Ashllxyy on this one, more than anything else. Looks like he messed up his timing. Yeah, he messed up his timing, didn't land correctly, so Retals wins this one, I believe, with another bump. Actually, Ashllxyy able to turn it around in the aftermath, but this was a bit of a weird kickoff because Ashllxyy messed up mechanically. Now, second last kickoff of the game. Opposite side of the diagonal spawn. This time I'm sure Ashllxyy's going to get the kickoff right, but again, look how side on Retals is. He's very, very committed here. So if we look at where the players are coming from, you know, Ashllxyy's got more of an angle. Retals is he's side onto the ball if Ashllxyy comes from goal side, but since Ashllxyy's also side onto the ball, we have to look at it like this and see, okay, who's now more committed? Actually, Ashllxyy is. He's the one who's committed more of an angle into this. So if both players dodge opposite directions, which they do, Ashllxyy wins the kickoff. If Retals wanted to win this one, he would have had to dodge to the right, and it would have squeezed out this way. So he's just getting it wrong. He's not predicting Ashllxyy's directions in any of these iterations, and he's just getting crushed time and time again. This game it didn't matter because his pressure off the ball and his ability to close Ashllxyy down really just swung it in his advantage. But here's another example. Final one that we're going to look at. Retals and Ashllxyy actually both looking pretty similar in this one. This is very close, but I think Ashllxyy arrived a little bit sooner, and yeah, when I think in the initial impact, it's hard to tell which way the ball is going to go. But okay, here you can clearly see actually Ashllxyy has got more of an angle on the ball, and players dodge opposite directions. It goes the way of the player who's got more of an angle on their approach. So I hope that explains why Retals is losing these kickoffs. It's a bit of a it's a bit of a coin flip when you when you have two players going for a standard kickoff like this, just flipping on their approach, well, speed flipping these days, and then dodging into the ball. It's a bit of a coin flip because, like I said, if players both go the same way, whoever's got less of an angle, more goal side, usually wins. If they dodge in opposite directions, whoever's more of an angle usually wins. So it is pretty much, well, it's up to execution and just reading what your opponent is going to do. And if you're not willing to switch kickoff strategy to a wave dash recovery, which will win against standard kickoffs the majority of the time these days, then you're going to run into problems. But yeah, Retals probably just needs to... I think just get more kickoffs in the books. It looked like Ashllxyy just had his number on the kickoffs today. He had a better read on what Retals is doing, and he was going for the correct approach and dodge combinations more often. But yeah, key solution is not to, I think, to work on this standard kickoff. These days, it's about mixing it up completely. Like I said, during, I think it was the first game here. But yeah, great to see Retals back in 1v1. Both these players going back and forth. Retals really dominating this second game, but Ashllxyy showing his resilience and making a good comeback win there in the first. And you know, this is a matchup I'd love to see again more recently, because these games I think were around about a month ago now. So both players have improved, I'm sure, since then. But yeah, GG's to the two. And yeah, if you want to see more of these guys, then be sure to let me know. For now though, thanks as always for watching this video, and have a great rest of your day.